go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Matt Williams got a brilliant shot from the third row of the grid.
He's gone, he's hit him, he's straight out of the chase.
Half-second lead. Oh, with the sizzling car in the background.
He has it. Oh, he's running out. He's round on the last lap.
Massive accident.
Next to the inside. What a move. What a move.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this penultimate round of the OZTCAC Championship here on Automoblista Australia. I'm Chris Riddell. With me, as always, is podcast host, motorsport journalist, and birthday boy, Michael Zalavari. G'day, mate.
Oh, you had to go through all that. Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chris. It's great to be back. We haven't done one of these live for, is it 2 months now we've been out?
Yeah, it's been 2 months since life got real for all of us.
Yeah, so, you know, we'd love to be more on top of things, but life does that thing where it, you know, exists. So I haven't been able to do... haven't been able to do these as much as we'd like. But we have gone back and grabbed some replays from some of the guys. I think we got them from Termo, so big shout out to Termo. And we will be going over and commentating over the... I think we've done the Jacarapagua round, and
Yes.
we've got Ibarra still to do. And they'll be going up somewhere on the AMS YouTube.
At some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Can I just say, you boys are completely and utterly mental.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Anyway, today's racing, we're at a beautiful racetrack known as... You can pronounce it?
Goiania.
Also known as...
This is the thing that's named after Senna, because everything's named after Senna. Autodromo International Ayrton Senna. So,
Yes.
there you go, guys.
Yes, so it's the second last round of the championship season. 2 weeks' time will be a Brands Hatch GP, and I ain't missing that one.
That'll be great.
That will be absolutely fantastic. And that'll be, like I said, 2 weeks' time. We're at a really interesting point in the championship as well, because... Well, actually, before we get to the championship, let's talk about the track itself, because it's not a track that people may not have heard of.
Yeah, this is another one of those kind of hidden Brazilian gems. Just at the brief look I've had of it, the track map doesn't look too exciting. It's like a budget Valencia, if you follow MotoGP. That's kind of what it looks like to me. But there is some subtle elevation change, which gives some really, really nice camber, especially through Mergulo, which is turn 2 or 3, depending on how you label the terms. There's a really nice sort of dip into that apex, which makes that sweeper really, really nice. And the internal infield section, pardon me, is quite a cool little section, very technical. So all in all, it adds up to just under 4 kilometer layout with lap times in these cars at around the 1:25 second mark.
Yeah, it's got fantastic racing. It's great you mentioned MotoGP. They actually used to race MotoGP around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
how long ago was that?
in the 80s, for 3 years. So,
Okay.
so it's 500cc era. So it looks like it's a great venue. Great passing opportunities as well. You got Curva Curva Zero. Don't know why I'm pronouncing it like an Italian.
I'm going to leave that well enough alone.
Good call. And also the chicane there, the essay, as I butcher it. It's a bit narrow, can cause contact because it's quite a sharp chicane as well.
Yeah, it looks very reminiscent of some of the... It's like halfway between a sharp chicane and a really sweeping chicane.
Yeah.
So you might be able to see guys try and push through there too wide, but I wouldn't recommend it, but you're probably going to see people try, and that's going to be the interesting thing.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, it's named after Ayrton Senna because everything was.
Yeah, exactly right.
So tonight's races, we've got 2 races in store, a 20-minute race and a 40-minute race. Tyre and fuel wear 2 times normal, so everyone will be pitting once. And pit strategy here, with the number of sweeping corners we've got, 2 tyres versus 4 could be a real factor in the race.
Yeah, most of the time, seeing as we're mostly in front-wheel drive cars, getting away with just changing the fronts is going to be mostly okay. Especially considering they're the ones doing all the driving as well. However, as you mentioned, there is some serious sweeping going on. So you might start to see a bit of the tail end, especially through the S's and through that curve of zero, start to cause a little bit of problem for the if you don't take tires. I doubt we'll see people take 4 tires in the short race, but definitely in the longer race, it could be an option.
Yeah. And I think it also depends how heavy your car is, which we'll get to now, because we've got some big penalties for this race.
Yeah, so because we're at the tail end of the championship, we are seeing the absolute maximum in terms of weight penalties. So on one extreme, we have Glenn Miles and Brian Walsh in the Playboy team cars, which have lost 60 and 65 kilos respectively. So they basically lost an entire me out of their cars.
And all that weight's gone onto one car.
Yes, on the other hand, we have championship leader Brenton Hobson sporting a 106 kilogram specific performance adjustment. So that is a massive, massive penalty just for being good. And I'm just looking at some practice times, and here's a little bit of a shock for everyone. Hobson's down in 9th out of this 15-car field this stage.
Blow me down with a feather.
I mean, I can if you want. No,
leave
that again.
No.
So I think the massive amounts of weight and the characteristics of this track are probably what's causing that massive disparity, because it is a flowing sort of track where you need to maintain momentum and get the car moving the way that you want it. It's not really a point and squirt sort of track. It means that if you do have extra weight to move around, it is going to be a big penalty. So maybe look for the guys like Brenton Hobson, Scott Nolan, and Liam Mitch tonight to be stuck a bit more in the midfield as they have to deal with having another you in the car.
Basically, yeah. It's going to be a great week, a great series of racing. I'm not sure how to predict it, so shall we go check out how practice is going?
Sure, let's jump in.
If I can get the right hotkey, we will. There we go.
Here's a little out of practice, as we mentioned. Yeah, we haven't done this for a while.
Yep, it's working excellent. I remember what I'm doing. That's always promising. So we've got 5 minutes left in this session. Turmo at the moment is leading the way. His best times are 1:25.3. And see, looks like we've got about 2 seconds spread between the field at the moment, which isn't too bad.
No, I think Hobson... sorry, let me try that again. I think Brock Harvey, not Brenton Hobson, I think Brock Harvey's done a very good job with this SPA system. And as the series has gone on, it's kind of compressed the field a lot more. So now we're seeing guys like Turmo who have relatively small weight penalties come up to the top, while the guys who normally would be up the front are beginning to be forced further back. So in that top 3 at the moment, you've got Turmo, who's only got 9 kilos, Mike Coulston, who in fact has a 13 kilo weight loss, and then Lime Mitch, who's just up on his PB currently by a whole 15 thousandths as he comes through the infield.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's your top 3 at the moment, and of those, Mitch is the heaviest with an extra 51 kilos. So it's interesting to see how the SPA has gone throughout the season, and it's really compressed the field. And then you've got guys like Neville and Walsh, who are, pretty solidly within half a second of the leaders.
Excellent. Now, I'm looking at screen here on Steve Bolger. When I eventually get rid of putting up our last replay recording we did, we called Steve about 25 billion different names.
Yeah, we did.
Which is the problem when you do recordings of replays. You don't get all the beautiful telemetry we've got today.
So no live timing, no positional data, no easy scroll through the field. We're basically running half blind.
Which considering we run half blind at the best of times.
Yeah, that's a good point. Whoops.
Sorry.
So apologies, Bolger. We were bad at it, and you should. Yeah, we're sorry.
Sue us for all our money.
Yeah, all 0 of it. Sorry.
Now, I should also point out that a lot of the numbers you'll see on the cards in terms of weight penalties will be slightly incorrect. unfortunately, Brock didn't get a chance to get around to doing that before these updates because he has a lot to do and can't do everything. As much as
Are you
he
sure
tries.
he can't do everything?
I get the impression that sometimes he tries.
Yeah, so there's a few there. I think the two Playboy cars are off by just a little bit. I'm not sure that Hobson has a weight penalty written on his bumper, which is a bit of a. I think it would have been just funny to see over 100 pasted on his bumper. That would have made me chuckle.
They just would have put a bumper sticker, Fatso.
So, just quickly. Are the SPA adjustments completely wiped for the finale, or they equalized for the finale at all? Do you know?
I am not aware. The Mr. Creator of the SPA adjustments was in the booth. He's just bailed on us. That's a good question, actually. I'm not. I hope it is, but I'm not sure it is.
Yeah. So I know, for example, in series that do use success ballast, like, for example, Super GT, they wipe the ballast for the last round of the series so that you don't have an incentive to tank to lose weight. And I think with the championship battle, as close as it is, it's not super close, but it's still not decided yet. Trying to get a little less weight might be something that does come into play, perhaps
maybe.
Hmm.
Given how far out Mr. Hobson is in the championship at the moment, I don't know how much weight he's got to lose. I don't know. He's going to lose a fair bit after this weekend because he's just not competitive enough.
Yeah, at this stage, it's going to be very interesting to see how Hobson copes with this weekend. I want to keep a very solid eye on Will Devonish, who's currently 13th in the timing ranks, which is interesting because he's actually got the least added weight of those in championship contention, and he's only got 38 kilos. So compared to Hobson's 106, that's a big difference as we're coming up to the last 30 seconds of practice. So he could be in a position. However, he's only 13th on the timing at this stage. So it is a bit of a weird one. We're not really sure how the weight is going to play into everyone's hands.
So you're expecting a bit from Will Devonish.
I expect some devilish speed from Devonish if he wants to challenge for the championship, which, considering the weight advantage he does have, he should be able to. However, we're not seeing that from him yet, as the timer has ticked over to the end of practice.
Indeed, and we're just looking at Cam Rutledge here. He's currently 11th end of practice, about a second off the pace. I've just realised Cam Rutledge Electrical on the side of his car. I'm guessing that's his company. Just quietly. I'm trying to figure out if that's like a silver lettering on his car.
It does look pretty chrome, hey?
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Pretty fancy.
Oh, as he just... that's just him quitting. That's fine. Okay, let's get out of this before I give away trade secrets. There we go. So, 20-minute race. What should we expect?
Yep. So we first got qualifying to go through for that race, but it should be a hit out. So we checked out not the last round, the previous round before that at Jacarepagua, and I'm probably saying that awfully wrong. But anyway, the racing there was intense. We've done a recording on that, and I can't wait for you guys to see how terrifying it was as this qualifying session is just about to start. So expect some high intensity, close quarters battling. I think we might lose one or two cars in the melee as we've got 3 Lancers queued up at the end of pit lane.
Yep, followed by the Pink Panther, which has got a few extra grid lines on it today.
Ooh, looks very pretty.
Yeah.
It's got some pinstripes on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
very nice.
That camera's not doing what I want it to do. There he goes. As we're green now for the qualifying session. You're going to go back now to... No, you're not going to go back to the car I wanted. It's okay. So 1 minute 20 laps. Well, 1 minute 25 would be the benchmark here.
Yep.
looks like, just looking at timing from the session gone, we've got a good mix of cars as well. I mean, only one clear when the race, and that was midfield, but we definitely don't have a domination of one certain type of car, which again, I think shows how well the cars are being balanced.
Yeah, and we say this every week. Big ups to Brock Harvey for putting this series together and having the cars so level and so balanced. This one, I think because of the long sweeping sections, it might favour those with a little bit longer wheelbase, cars that can be a bit more stable. So maybe look for the Lancers to be the cars to beat. But honestly, they're all so evenly matched, it's impossible to call.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Now, we have a yellow flag already. Nope, it's fine, it's gone. I think it's just my timing thing going crazy. No, we do have a car off. But I'm Brian Walsh, off in qualifying.
A+. Good
thing it's an outlap.
Exactly right. And if you're not pushing hard in qualifying, then what's the point, right?
Exactly. So, looks like they'll get three hot laps. The fifth lap won't actually count because they have to go back into the pit. So 3 laps to get their stuff done. As I think we're about to get our first car across the line. No, that's coming out of the pits.
We are just about to have the first car across the line. It looks like that's Scott Nolan and Brenton Hobson for the Synergy Sim Racing cars, starting their first hot laps just behind, I think that's either Luke Joyner or Brock Harvey that's coming out the pits ahead of them. So hopefully they move out of the way to allow the guys on their hot laps to get a good lap in.
Absolutely. Just looking, so they're coming through. I'm going to try to pronounce it. Mahulgia? How'd I go? Terribly.
That hurt my soul.
I'm sure it hurt.
For all our listeners, I apologise for that, by the way.
Your viewers, actually. We're not a podcast today.
Oh, yeah. Apologies. Yeah. Again.
So, just coming through the kink after Bico de Pato, that's actually a really interesting corner because it's not just... It's not a simple hairpin, that.
No, it's very straight on entry. The corner kind of opens out, and then you got the kink back to the other side. So it's kind of like a little dogleg on the end there, as the leading cars are just coming up to Curva Zero now to complete their first flying laps. We'll get to see some benchmark times.
Yep, Scott Nolan looks pretty good around that last corner, I've got to say. As well, Hobson taking a bit more road on the exit, so I expect a good time here. We'll see what he does. 1:26.291.
Benchmark set at the 26.2, and Turmo immediately goes ahead with a 25.8, it looks like. Lime Mitch into second place as well. Only 400, separating Turmo and Lime Mitch. So very, very close at the front of the field already.
That's great. I can't find either of them on my camera, which is annoying.
Just keep pressing the button until you get to number 1.
That'll work.
They're literally line of stern. They're just going through. I think that is Miolo now. So getting into the infield section and through Bico de Pato and through that little kink as they come out through the S's. Wait, no, have I lost where I am? No, they're coming through Bico de Pato now. Yeah,
Bico de Pato is that long.
Yeah.
As he just drops the mic and walks away.
Bye.
Bye. Other good. Tell you what, we've got four cars there, but 3rd and 6th, Devonish, Colson, Brian Walsh, and Cam Rutledge. Look at that gap.
Devonish, he's a sneaky guy. We were saying he was very far down in practice, and look where he is already. Yep. So yeah, within 2/10, we've got top 6, which is crazy close at this stage.
It looks like Turmo might be going a bit faster here as well. Keep an eye on him as he crosses across the line, but he was flashing up purple in the middle sector.
And he's just going to cross the line now, and let's see what his time is. It is a new fastest lap at 25.6, puts him further ahead of those chasing him. I am going to find... We haven't had a lap from Steve Bolger yet. He's just on his out lap currently, coming into Curva Zero, so that'll be something to just keep a tab on.
Yep.
And it looks like Will Devonish has had a mistake on that lap, so he's not going to improve. What about Mike Coulston? Coulston's just coming across the line now, and he jumps up to 3rd. No, wait, what? We've got Brian Walsh in pole position at this moment. Wow,
what
a lap!
Didn't see that coming.
No, that's a bit of a surprise.
125.24. That's 4/10 faster. Where did that come from?
That is amazing. Great work, Ryan Walsh. There's still 4 minutes left in this session.
No
so
wonder
there's
he's
still time.
pucked up and just said, "Nah, I'm done."
Yeah, I mean, once you get to that point, like,
Yeah, I'm out. See ya.
yeah.
So Turmo's got his work cut out if he wants a pole position here.
Yeah, it's a big gap. It's a big gap at the moment. 4/10. It's almost half a second.
He's also down in this lap. As we see Line Mitch actually pulling into pits, he's got nothing left. Of course, it's the last flying lap.
Yeah, Turmo's not going to have anything left either. Mike Coulston might have something up his sleeve as he's just with Cam Rutledge in the middle part of the track going through the S's.
Yep.
Let's see as he comes to the next sector marker. He's up by 3/10, but just outside the pole time. So he's coming through curve 0 now. This could be a looking at the moment like a provisional second place for Mike Coulston as he comes onto the main straight in that Green's Tough Mini. He crosses the line and he goes into second, 1/10 outside Turmo. We still haven't had a lap from Steve Bolger. There he goes across the front straight and he slots into 13th. And still got enough time for his next lap, the next 2 laps.
Next 2 laps, yeah. Whew, that's looks like everyone else is done here. So yeah, Brenton Hobson's come home in 11th in that session, just showing how much slower that car is.
Yeah,
this
with
week.
that extra weight. We've got potentially a good lap from Brock Harvey at the moment. He's in 5th currently. He's up on his previous best, but just outside the pole time as he winds his way downhill through the S's. Coming onto the back straight here, just about to break that second sector mark, and he's down by half a second.
Ooh.
So not an improvement for Brock Harvey. So
he might gain 1 position out of it, potentially.
Yes, it's very close between him and Lime Mitch. Let's see as he comes to the line. Odd line there, coming all the way towards the inside, and it doesn't improve.
He got a cut. He had a track cut.
No, that's a shame.
Dang. Just like in supercars, if you cut the corner, you get executed by race control.
Steve Bolger's now a second under his personal best as he comes around curve 0. Let's see where he slots in, and it is into. That's a long run.
Ooh, that's a massive
4th place.
That's a massive jump.
And he's got another lap. He's 1,000th of a second ahead of Lime Mitch in 5th. That is the gap between the second and third row of the grid as Steve Bolger runs it wide through turn 1. So he's going to be unlikely to improve. He does have the track entirely to himself, though. A bit of an advantage of coming out a bit later in the session. So maybe as he comes into the infield section, we'll see what his first sector split is. And he's not up. He's half a second out. So I think it's pretty safe to say we've got our grid set for the first 20-minute race.
Fantastic. Well done, Brian Walsh, on your pole position. Great lap.
That is... I mean, no offense, but I am quite surprised by that. That came quite out of left field.
Mike Colson, 2nd, 3rd place to Turmo. 4th place is Steve Bolger. I almost called him Scott, even though I know it's not. 5th place, Lime Mitch. 6th place after... 100,000th of a second.
1,000th of a second, yeah.
Yeah. 6th place, Brock Harvey, another 200th of a second back. Will Devonish, 7th, 600th of a second, 400 seconds of the back. That was English.
Well done.
Cam Rutledge in 8th, Cracker 9th, Neville in 10th, Scott Nolan in 11th, and Brenton Hobson in 12th place.
Wow, he's 1.3 seconds outside of pole position is Brenton Hobson. Rounding out the grid, we have Luke Joyner in 13th, Stewart in 14th, and Glenn Miles in 15th place. So we have the Playboy Pumas bookending the field for this race.
There's many lines there. I'm not going to use any of them. This is a family-friendly show.
Why are you on it?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. I just want to point out here, between 4th place and 8th, we have 5 cars within 1.5 tenths of a second is crazy. Gaps between ninth, 10th, and 11th also less than a tenth of a second, and so this field is massively compressed now, and it's going to produce some amazing racing once we get into this 20-minute race.
Yeah. And with how long this front straight is, well, going to be drafting into turn 1, bumping and grinding into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be great. That's actually quite a long run to the line. I didn't realize how far up it is. You could actually see someone get a run out of the last corner and do like MotoGP style and get the win on the line.
Even Brock Harvey in chats just wrote, "Whoa, Shay!"
I think that's quite appropriate.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That was a stunning lap.
And we missed all of it.
We did because we're busy focusing on other cars.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Oh, well, I'm sure. Walsh is going to save the replay and be showing it to everyone for years and years to come.
Exactly. So we're in a drivers' meeting at the moment, so we've got a couple of minutes. So why don't you tell us a bit more about how your day's gone?
Oh, okay. We're going to do this, are we?
We are.
Fine. Okay. So, over the weekend, I was out at Tailem Bend, marshalling the Shannon's Nationals at the Bend and the Australian GT endurance race there. While I was there, I had with me a notepad taking some notes, and then I went back and rewatched the race and wrote up an article for a race report that I submitted to dailysportscar.com, one of the largest international sports car news websites, and overnight it got published. So I am now a published motorsports reporter, everyone. Yay.
Isn't that a scary thought?
Yeah, it is a little bit. I've been trying to dip my toes into motorsport media and motorsport broadcasting, which is actually how I got involved in this through running into Rhodey in the community that I run. He came in looking for commentators. I'm like, that's what I want to do. So now that's how I got here. And so having a piece of work published behind me is actually a really, really good feeling. And yeah, it's kind of cool. It's also really scary. I kind of didn't think that, like, it's gotten to the point where the people I idolize in motorsport media are tagging me in things on Twitter and saying, "Hey, good job." So it's been a bit overwhelming today. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird day.
Yep. And of course, because you turned 25 today as well.
Yes, it's also my birthday, so it's all happening.
It's all happening.
Seriously, my phone today has just been like a stream of messages from people congratulating me about this report, to people sending me birthday messages, to it's been a wild day, Chris. It's been a wild day.
Good day. No, honestly, it's good to hear this is all going well for you, mate. Real happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I say that with all sincerity. So.
And I know you mean it as well, because I can tell when you're being a dick. Oh, yeah, sincerely, thank you very much. And I hope that the listeners and watchers at home aren't bored to tears about us talking about our lives. If you want to find the article, it's on the... just type in... Search up Daily Sports Car, and it'll probably be one of the articles on the front page, titled Trofeo Motorsport Prevail at the Bend. So there you go.
Yes. Now, we're into the practice sessions now, so I'm going to just quickly do something on my computer. We'll be right back in a moment with the bit more
First race.
In the first race. And we're back. We just had to take a quick break there. So we've got 5 minutes to go on this practice session. As my phone dings at me. That was really annoying, phone. Thank you.
$5 says it was me posting it on Facebook.
$5 will be correct.
Yes! I am the winner.
The winner is me. Yes. Anyway, so Brendan Hobson's running a few laps of just trying to figure out how to lose weight in his car in the next 10 minutes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Have they overdone it? Or is he just that good?
Yes, but no.
Okay.
So okay, but like the way that the specific performance enhancements, adjustments work is that they're based on your finishing position. So once you
Whoa.
Yep. So we've just jumped ahead to the race. It looks like.
Yep. Awesome.
So once you get the position, once you get the weight, you can't. It's going to get to a point where it's just all of a sudden you fall off a cliff. So Hobson finished second both races in the last round and got a weight penalty of I think 12 kilos each time. So once you get both of them added together onto the car, it's gonna make the car feel a lot heavier all of a sudden. So I think that's what's happened because we saw only a few rounds ago he was still battling up the head of the field. So that's one of the things about just performance and performance adjustments. It's sometimes you hit a cliff and then you have to get that taken back.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
What might be worth considering, I'll put this here and I'll probably mention it to Brock later, is having a rolling performance adjustment. So maybe your SPA is only based on the last 5 races or so, which is something that they do currently in the European Le Mans series, so that you don't ever really hit that cliff.
No, yeah. That makes sense. As we're rolling now for a warm-up lap, let's run through the grid one more time if the computer's going to cooperate. Brian Walsh on pole in his Playboy Puma, although he's currently in second place because he was slow getting away from the grid. Mike Holston in the green stuff Mini in second place. Third place goes to Turmo in the Irwin Racing Lancer. There he is wiggling around. Thank you, Turmo. Fourth place goes to Steve Bolger, basically the stock Mini. Fifth place, Lime Mitch in the Pink Panther, sponsored Pink Panther.
Puma.
Yes. Puma. Sixth place to Mr. Brock Harvey. Thank you, Brock. There's the light show. Seventh is Will Devonish, the Willett Racing Mini. I love the livery on that thing. It's gorgeous.
It does look pretty nice.
It's pretty slick. Eighth place, Cam Rutledge Electrical Lancer. Ninth place is Cracker for the Cracker Fat Racing Team. I think I promised myself I was never going to say that.
Every time.
So juvenile. You think you get more wise in your old age, but nah.
No, not even a little.
10th place is our only Renault Clio on the grid, and Gary Neville, the GNEV Racing Machine, the man filter's beautiful liveried thing. 11th place, Scott Nolan in the Synergy Sim Racing Lancer. 12th place is Fatso in the Synergy Sim Racing Lancer.
Brenton Hobson, that is.
Yes.
Sorry, Brenton.
Yeah. No, we're not saying you're fat, we're saying the car is. 13th place is Luke Joyner, the Matt Harvey Racing Tech Mini. 14th is Stewart in the Lancer. And 5th, and bringing at the rear of the grid, is the second Playboy machine in the hands of Glenn Miles. As the grid is now forming up, we'll be going any time now. Looks like we've got 25 minutes on the clock. It's going to be a great race. What do you expect?
I'm pretty excited. These cars, the way that they're set up now on this fast-flowing track, it's going to be wild.
Yes, it is. Just waiting the last few cars to come into position now. And then we'll wait those 5 beeps to signal we're ready to go.
Just quickly before they start,
Yeah.
Lime Mitch looks very off-kilter in his grid slot.
He does a bit. There's 3.
Lights.
And we are away for race 1 here at Autodromo Ayrton Senna. Great start by the Lancer from third turbo place, but better start from Mike Colson, who's taken the lead. It's a long run into turn 1, but he looks like he's going to be far enough. Back behind him, Brock Harvey's making a dive down the inside of Lime Mitch, and will get the job done as well. No, he won't get the job done as well as he hopes. Bit of an incident there. Looks like Ryan Mitch and Steve Boulder have been the worst out of that.
There's a few people down the back there. Cracker's dropped out there. Glenn Miles, Gary Neville, and Brenton Hobson down into 15th off the start. So bad start there for Brenton Hobson, but it's Mike Coulston who got the whole shot and leads them away as they come through the inner loop for the first time. Huge start by Scott Nolan, up 7 places from his grid slot of 11. And we've got a spinner in the background, Cam Rutledge. He's gone off. He got a bit of oversteer coming in through the loop and has thrown it off the track. Luckily, he hasn't hit anything, but he's now dropped down into 13th position.
Ooh, that's a big moment. Was he on his own?
Yeah, he was on his own by the look of it.
Okay.
It looks like he just tried to go around the outside of one of the MHRT cars and got all out of shape coming through the inner loop.
Okay, I was trying to bring the replay up, but my replay button didn't work, so that didn't work.
Wow.
Yep, it's a shame.
Oh no, Mike Coulston's just run wide heading onto the back straight, so Turmo potentially has a chance here to take the lead down this long main straight. They're almost matched at the line, and Turmo is listed as ahead, and he's got the inside line, so he'll probably take the lead heading into turn 1 here, and he does.
Good move. That's it. That's your traditional turn 1. But I tell you what, over under, Coulston's not giving up without a fight, and he's got him back on the exit of the very long turn 1.
Very smart there from Coulston, and he's blocking the inside line very nicely. Turmo has to dive towards the inside, which he does, but he has to back out of it because Coulston shuts the door on him. So it's as you were for the top 2. Brian Walsh still very impressively in 3rd place here, and again, Scott Nolan up 7 places from the start in 4th.
Well, as we have the other Playboy, Glenn Miles spinning, coming into the turn 1 there as well. In the background, we saw that. That was an exciting start.
It's just beginning to settle down now. We've got Cracker and I think that's Luke Joyner in the mid-pack having a little bit of a battle. Just ahead of them is Will Devonish, who hasn't made any inroads since his start. And it looks like, yeah, for the most part, things have settled down, but it hasn't settled down at the front. Mike Coulston has Turmo immediately in his mirrors as they come through Curve 0 at the end of lap 2. And Coulston runs wide again.
Oh, is that his natural line?
It might be, but it's costing him every single time. He's lost, not only has he lost time by going wide, he's actually losing Ks down the straight as Turmo is able to just pull away and takes the lead quite easily this time by new fastest lap by Lime Mitch, by the way, a 1:26.2 is current best lap time.
That's good early pace. Turmo's done enough this time. Exit of 1, he's got the base, he's now in the lead of the race.
Beautiful looking car that is, by the way.
That is. It's just classic Irwin livery. You can't hate it. I mean, you can, but...
but you'd be wrong.
You'd be very wrong. Yeah, so going back here, Brock Harvey and Lime Mitch are having a bit of a tate-a-tate as well.
Yeah, so that's just changed. Lime Mitch was ahead at the start-finish line, I think. So that's a move for position there. And it looks like Mike Coulston's gotten back in front for the lead of the race as well.
Typical to go away and that happens.
Yep. But
too wide. Oh, not quite.
Thought better of it.
Yeah, too wide into the S's is not where you want to go. Too wide to the exit of the S's.
That might have actually just cost Turmo another shot at that position here. He's actually going to come under a bit of pressure from Brian Walsh as they go through.
I don't know about that. I think it might be the other way around. Brian Walsh coming under pressure from Scott Nolan, who's trying to go around the outside of the final corner.
Wow, that would be a big move as they come onto the back straight. Beautiful little camber there as Mike Coulston is doing the MotoGP thing of trying to break the draft down the straight. But he's got enough room there. And I think even Brian Walsh has got enough room. And we've just had consecutive fastest laps. First by Scott Nolan, then Brock Harvey. Now Cracker chimes in with the fastest lap, a 25.8.
Sorry to interrupt there, but Scott Nolan just gave our Puma friend a fair punt off
Brian
the track.
Walsh. Yeah. That's unfortunate there. I missed that. But the battle's on for the lead. I've been looking at that this whole race. And it's still as tight as it was off the start line even. Now, they've got to go through a little kink here. Turmo's on the outside. And is he going to be able to hold it? He gets all the way over the curb.
Oh, there he is. Just comes wide out of camera shot and man drives around, takes the lead again.
Yeah, and he's got a significant lead now. That's a few car lengths, so he might be able to hold on from that. Now, this battle for third is going to be very juicy. Scott Nolan, Brock Harvey, Lime Mitch, and super racy Brian Walsh. He's not... Oh, no, he's gone off! He's gone off!
That's the ultimate...
How did he manage to save that?
That is the ultimate commentator's curse. You're literally saying his name as he goes off.
Woo, that was terrifying. Wow, how did he manage to gather that up and get that back on track? That was brilliant.
That was... Oh, well done. You and your curses, I swear to God.
I can't help it.
Yeah.
So, now, let me try that again.
Yes.
Battle for third. Scott Nolan, half a second ahead of Brock Harvey. 3/10 ahead of Lime Mitch, who's gaining as they come down the back straight. Brian Walsh just lost a little bit of ground, and then it's Will Devonish and Cracker, and that is your six-person battle for third place as Scott Nolan gets a lot of tire squeal through that first corner, and they all manage to sneak around very, very safely. But Cracker and Will Devonish are going out at the background. Cracker's on the outside for 8th position. Is he going to be able to hold it around there and make a move? Or not quite, but further afield, it looked like Lime Mitch and Brock Harvey were getting into it. And Brock Harvey's trying to go around the outside. He's going to get the over-under into the inner loop here. Is he going to get it? Not quite.
But Lime Mitch is going to have a look around the outside of Scott Nolan, but no, he drops back as Brock Harvey now takes a wee peek up the inside out of the kink.
Oh, this is wild stuff. You don't know where to look. It looks like Brock Harvey's got an overlap here as they go through the S's, 2x2 into the S's. He's got the inside lane, but Lime Mitch has the inside for the next corner. Can he do the over-under? No, Brian Walsh is there. They just get forced a little wide there. They're all so tightly packed. One move to try and move ahead could see you vulnerable from behind. And it looks like Brock Harvey's going to have a dive. They make contact, Lime Mitch and Brock Harvey. They both seem to get away from that unscathed. Now, Lime Mitch is a little compromised here after that touch. It looks like Brian Walsh is going to be able to get into the mix. As that's all happening, Termo set the new fastest lap of the race out in front. And Brian Walsh is going to go for a dive here on the inside. Is he going to be able to get it done?
No.
Oh, they're very tight. They're very tight.
Thing is, though, turn one is so long, you can actually run along the inside there and almost get away with it.
Yeah, and you can run along the outside as well. There's definitely enough lines as they make contact to the kink.
Was that
they both hold onto it. Brian Walsh dives down the inside and gets the move, and Devonish follows him through. So Lime Mitch has lost 2 positions in that little sequence there, and just behind them, Cracker went a little wide as well. Oh,
woohoo! Yeah. The winner of that was Devonish. He made a spot without even really trying.
Yeah, he let Walsh open up the door and just was able to stride straight through.
Yeah. Now we have Cracker thinking about it, but no, he's a bit far back. This is wild stuff, as we expect.
Yeah, this is from the very first race of TCAC in Interlagos. This has been what we've been expecting and wanting to see, and it's been great racing so far. As Lime Mitch is
pitting.
No, he doesn't come into the pits. I wonder what happened there.
That was bizarre.
That was very odd.
That was very Simona at Townsville.
Yeah, a little bit. Termo sets another fastest lap here, while I think that's Will Devonish is going around. Sorry, Brock Harvey going around the outside of Scott Nolan into turn 1. He's just not up far enough as they go 2x2 into the first corner. He's going to be able to get the overlap here and the over-under, and he does get the inside line on the exit, and he's got the move made. At this stage, they're going to come through the kink side by side. Everyone hold your breath. And it's like they've made it through, and Scott Nolan wraps around the outside to take the move back. Wow, great racing from Scott Nolan.
I can stop breathing. I can breathe now.
Oh, mate.
That was... and I guess that's what makes those turn 1 moves on the inside so appealing, because basically it's left-hander, 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 left-hander.
Exactly right. But the problem is you don't want to drift too wide by committing to that first apex, as Will Devonish has taken the defensive line into the S's to stave Cracker away, but he's locked up and he's gone wide. Now Cracker's been able to slot through, so he's lost that position there by making a mistake, and he's got Lime Mitch on his tail as well.
I wonder how much of that was actually because of Brian Walsh getting all over the curb into the S's, as we have a few pit callers by the looks of it. Yes.
Yep, so we got Brock Harvey, Brian Walsh, and Lime Mitch, who gives Walsh a bit of a touch-up going into the pit lane.
That was interesting. Yeah. Don't think that was quite on the schedule. It looks like Minnie in the back has Yep, Steve Bolger's also pitted. So we've got quite a few coolers here.
Yeah.
I wonder
And-
if there's a window they had to pit, which is why the Puma before didn't pit.
Yeah, that possibly might be it. That would make sense. 10 minutes into the race, you got a window to pit. Just quickly, I do want to point out we have Brendan Hobson down in last position. He may have taken his pit stop. I'm not quite sure, but at the moment in last place.
He hasn't taken the stop. He's just coming through the S's.
Oh, he might have taken it on the previous lap, is what I mean.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So we'll see where he slots out. We'll keep tabs on him because, of course, he is the current championship leader.
Well, just having a look. So Brock Harvey's coming out of the pits ahead of Lime Mitch, ahead of Brian Walsh, who has got a drive-through penalty now.
Now, I wonder if someone has the power to cancel that because that looked like it was as a result of getting hit from behind. So I wonder if he might be able to have a case to argue there because that was me. I'd be very angry at that, getting a drive-through for that.
Yeah,
and we've got the leader in the pits now as well.
We do have the leader in the pits. Mike Holson's done the smart thing. Leader pits, I stay out.
Yep, very smart move. And also in the background, we've got Scott Nolan coming into the pits and Will Devonish.
Yep,
and Cam Rutledge.
As Cracker has kept going for another round, as has Mr. Harvey. And our Renault.
So we've got Mike Coulston now leading the race, followed by Cracker, Luke Joyner in third place, and Gary Neville. So these are the guys who haven't made their stop yet. The next group on track is the Harvey, Liam Mitch, Glenn Miles group. And then Brian Walsh just behind him. And then there's Hobson. So if Hobson's managed to get on the tail of Brian Walsh after taking a pit stop, that's actually not too bad. But Walsh is coming in to serve a penalty. Oh, that's such a shame. That's a real shame.
I wonder then if, because it came up as he was exiting, I wonder if it was actually on exit, not on entry.
I think we ran into this when I was commentating at AEST. No matter where the speeding penalty is, if is in the lane, as we've got a drive-through penalty for Stewart, it only ever appears as you exit the lane. So you might be able to find Stewart just exiting the lane now, and he is just coming down the main straight.
And there's Walshy now trundling down the pit lane at 60.
So Mike Coulston comes in, as does Cracker. Luke Joyner and Gary Neville are just a bit further down the road. Are they going to call in this lap? No, so they're going to take the lead. So it'll be interesting to see where Termo pops out in relation to Mike Coulston, as Brock Harvey and Scott Nolan are squabbling over 6th and 7th still. And it looks like Harvey might have it done here as they go and side by side into the S's. Maybe not.
Oh, that's a gap that's just big enough for a mini, and he does get the move done.
That's a pretty mini gap there.
Great move, but tell you what, the Lancer is going to have a wee little nook back coming out of the S's, coming through to the curve of 0, and nope, decides better of it. Not quite far enough up. But if he gets a good run, it's a long straight, might be able to out-drag that little mini.
And I think Nolan's got less weight on board as well, so that might be to his advantage. But the Mini doesn't punch a big hole in the air, and he's only gaining very small chunks as they come down the main straight. Now, let's have a look at where Coulston came out in relation to Termo, if we can find that.
Just ahead, where we're talking 0.4 of a second.
So Coulston actually got that position there because before the pits, Termo had about a 2 or 3 second gap.
Yep.
So that's a great pit strategy from Coulston as we approach 10 minutes left to go.
And Brock Harvey has a Lancer on his backside again, coming through. Where are we? That corner.
I think that one is... no, I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. I think better of that.
Good call, good call. As Coulston's a bit wide coming out of the inner loop here, coming through to the S's, and Termo might be thinking about it, but no, covers defensive driving nicely, coming through the dog leg into the S's. That's it.
So this is going to be the battle for the effective lead once Luke Joyner and Gary Neville come through the pits.
Possibly.
Yep, so they're both in the pits now.
All right, we'll keep an eye on where they come out.
I think this is going to be the effective battle for the lead here. I don't think there's enough of a gap for Joyner and Neville unless they don't take tyres at all. But I think that would be even a risky ploy as Luke Joyner is on his way out of the pits.
And we have the Coulston darting to the right, we're going too wide down the front straight by too wide, I mean, on each side of the track. Look, Jordan has a penalty.
Jordan gets a drive-through penalty.
This pit lane must be incredibly tricky.
Must be. It looks slightly downhill.
As Turbo goes around the outside of turn 1, can he get the move done through the next 3 right-handers? He's got still too wide, still neck and neck. Camera, there we go. It's Mike Colston, 2 wheels on the inside there and through the third part of that, and Turbo does enough to drive around because Colston unfortunately got a bit of dirt and got a bit squirrely coming through the third phase of that.
Good move by Turbo. That's real commitment there to hang it around the outside. Great racing from the pair of them, actually, as Colston goes for a little bit of a dive. And I think he might have just gotten a little bit into Turbo's mirrors there, because Turbo had to make a little bit of a move out.
I'm not sure that was a dive. That was more of a, oh crap! Oh, I'm not passing you. It's fine.
Yeah, very lucky in the end not to make contact as they come up to the rear of the field. This is Glenn Miles, who does his very best to get out of the way there. Doesn't do too badly. Good job, Glenn.
Yes. Tell you what, behind them's looking tasty again, as to be expected.
Yeah. So let's if we get a chance to take our breath, or maybe not, with Brock Harvey literally with the mirrors full of Lancers, they come through curve of 0. And is Nolan going to be able to peek out? It's very tight. He's got a great run here as they come into the main straight. It looks, the gap's coming down. He's going to be able to pull out towards the inside. Oh, that's, couldn't fit a cigarette paper through that. Is he going to die? Oh, he's lost it. Oh, he saved it. He's run a little wide. They both run wide. Oh.
I was looking at the lap traffic. I was looking at the lap traffic going, dive out, dive out, dive out for the love of God.
That was just a perfect storm of positioning there. Yeah. I don't think Glenn Miles did anything wrong, but yeah, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Brock Harvey there, what a save through that first corner to get it all crossed up and then get it all back on track. They both ran wide a little bit, and in the end, it was Scott Nolan who was able to make that position. And Brock Harvey runs a little wide again, probably with a little bit of the red mist coming down. So that looks like that move is now consolidated.
I want to go.
So we might actually have enough of a chance to catch our breath and go through the field.
Well, I'm not really, because I'm going straight down to Gary Neville in 10th because he's got Mr. Bolger right on his backside again. Oh, it's dropped off a bit now.
I think we need to go back to the battle at the front, because that's only at 2/10 as they go through the last corner yet again.
At some point, we will go through the field. And
maybe. That might be after the finish line.
Well, at least we've got timer, so we know when the finish line is. I think we called 5 different winners when we did that record of Jacob Perlaga. As Mike Austin sets the fastest lap.
Yeah, a 25.3 as he pulls towards the inside. He's going to make a dive into the first corner here. He's forced Turbo to take a wider line, and he's gone off the track there, Turbo. So if Colston can hold it into the inside, he might have a shot. He's got the neck and neck heading into the kink here, and it looks like Colston might have it done. Turbo, big move under brakes, but he can't take the move. So Mike Colston now leads the race.
With 6.5 minutes to go, I want to say that could be decisive, but we've seen these two going like it for a whole race, so who knows?
Mate, in this series, I don't think anything's decisive.
Very true. I want to go through the field, but they're not going to let me. As Turbo tries to go around the outside of that sweeper, but no, she thinks better of it, and falls back in line for the S's. Very smart man.
We've got a battle for 4th at the moment as well, which is very tight. Oh, gets tagged by Scott Nolan. They're going side by side. The exit of the S's as Nolan gets forced wide, which brings Will Devonish into the mix as well. So we've got 3 cars here covered by less than a quarter of a second as they all try to shove over towards the inside line. And it's Nolan who goes around the outside, but he can't hold it. Line Mitch takes the inside back, and Devonish is going to follow him through, and they're going to go 3 wide onto the main straight almost.
Again, I think Nolan actually made a mistake there, and the other two capitalises. Devonish keeps going with this. We've got a bit of bum drafting going as well. Boogity, 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 boys.
But while that's also happening, there's battle. They're side by side at the front again. This is wild stuff. I wish we had a split screen, as it looks like Turbo's going to go around the outside into the 4th corner and not quite get it done. Colston manages to hold him out.
Meanwhile, Lime Mitch and Skull and Lime Mitch running very side by side. I think Devonish got a bit squirrely there. Yes, he got it. He's got a bit squirrely, but somehow...
They're going
Three
three
wide!
What is this? Oh, Devonish prevails. He's got the position. Scott Nolan down in 6th, but with the inside line Mitch takes the rear of Devonish's bumper. Oh, this
Nolan's
is all going
bumper
off.
even.
Oh, what's going on? At the head of the field, Coulston and Turmoil still going at it. They're separated by 2/10, but it's this battle for 4th that we're watching, and that was a bit more than just a little friendly tap there.
That was-
but there's still...
I think Nolan got into both of them there, and he's somehow... And Nolan, I mean, he is the biggest car of the three, just pushing his weight around, and I think we're going to... Yeah, he's going to have a look down the inside of the curve of 0. And just...
And they make contact
more bump
again.
contact. And Lime Mitch now is now going to do the bump drafting this
Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant stuff. As they come down the main straight to start lap 15. Wow, we've only got 3.5 or 3 minutes and 40 seconds left of this. But I don't think we can take any more, as it looks like Cam Rutledge is well off in the background as they go 3 wide into turn 1. Are they all going to survive? Yes, they are.
They are, but Lime Mitch has run very wide there. But actually, that must be a pretty quick line.
Looks it. And it looks like Turmo's made that move at the front as well.
Oh.
So,
Run on Turmo.
battle at the first position, battle for 4th position as Scott Nolan dives on the inside of that first hairpin. They make contact side to side, Nolan and Devonish. Devonish is going to have the inside line for the next corner, but Scott Nolan has the track position. But Devonish is going to dive in return. Is he? No. Just
Maybe. Give it a little nudge.
A little bit of Morse code in the bumper. It looks like they've managed to drop Lime Mitch from this battle. Oh, this is wild stuff. I don't know where to look. There's the battle for 1st, the battle for 4th, and then there's the battle for 6th.
Devonish is just locked up a bit there. So we might actually have a little bit of separation, which means I can go check on this battle at the front for a second. I'm going to do that. I'm going to risk it. Battle up the front. Coming onto the last corner. 2 minutes to go, so that should be about 2 laps to... Or maybe 3.
Oh, we've just had Lime Mitch pull into the pit, so it looks like he suffered some damage, which takes him out of that battle, which is really unfortunate.
Damn, that's a shame, because that was a battle and a half. As the green machine thinks about a move down the inside into 1, but he's way too far back to make that happen. He's actually dropped back a fair bit now, 7/10 behind.
It looks like he dropped out of it, maybe trying to set something up for later on the lap.
Everyone's going off here.
Ooh, yeah, wow.
Is the race over? Because the timer was set wrong, potentially.
No, we've had Cracker off, we've had Devonish off.
And everybody
What's
off.
going on? See, this is what happens when they don't tell us things.
Well, I thought it was a 20-minute race, but the time was 25 minutes, so go figure.
Somebody took the markers out.
Oh, no.
No.
So that means everyone's lost their brake markers. So Brenton Hobson's now up to 6th after that. He's just gotten past Cracker through that first hairpin onto the inner loop. So he's making way up the field. Looks like Luke Joyner's coming for another pit stop. I'm just trying to go through the field and check out if we've got any battles going on. There's a battle for 8th between Rutledge, Bolger, and Neville at the moment.
Yep, that's a little bit of a gap between the 3.
Yeah. Well, I think it's still this battle at the front, which is the interest at the moment. And it looks like Coulston has a bit of a run as we come on to the last lap. It looks like we've got just over a minute, so this should be the last lap. Coming down the main straight, Coulston has the inside line. He's going to try and put pressure on Turmo, but Turmo goes deep under brakes and runs the wide line again, the very wide line through that first corner, and loses the position. Coulston comes up on the inside.
That would be those brake markers that we just heard about.
And it wasn't just a small position gain either. It was 2 or 3 tenths there that Coulston was able to eke out. So he's got the lead as they come through the infield section. First through that hairpin, then through the kink into the second hairpin, the left-hander, and it looks like Luke Joyner just coming through the pits has got another penalty which will relegate him to last place. But it's all about this battle at the front now. Coming up the last little dogleg into the S's. Turmo's right on the tail of the Green's tough machine.
A bit far back here, but he runs a bit wide though. Tell you what, on next he might be looking to go under him again coming out of the S's.
Oh, Coulston does very well there to block that inside line, but he's compromised in the kilometers per hour. Turmo's got the outside. They're going to go 2 by 2 into the final corner on the final lap of the race. Who's going to come out the top the other side? Looks like Turmo's got the position.
Turmo's got the drive there and might be able to hold it down the long run to the finish line. So, if we go to the right car, Turmo, yes, he's going to get the win here in the first race. Or maybe, yes, he is. By, I think that was less than a tenth of a second in the end.
Wait, are we still going? We shouldn't be still going. No, we are still going.
We are still
got an
going.
additional lap.
One to go. Oh, that rule's changed. Okay, last lap.
Oh, what is going on? This is a mare. Okay, there's still this battle at the front.
As Turbo has the gap there coming through the last part of the first complex and has held on here. Coming through the kink to the S's. I don't know if he's going to start. Yes, he is going to have a look down the inside.
Huge dive!
Huge dive. Massive dive, and he's going to be outdriven on exit.
No, he's not. Turmo takes it back on the inside. So here we go into the S's. Only 3 corners left after this little kink for Coulston to get around. He's taking a bit of a wide line there. He's going to have to try and get the drive here. Gets a nice exit. Yes, he's got the power down, but Turmo's got the power down as well, and he's pulling away as they head into the final corner on this, the actual final lap this time, we hope, fingers crossed.
Yes, it looks like we are, and it looks like
Curve is 0.
It looks like Mike Holston's going to not have enough for Turmo on this occasion. So, race 1 at Goiania. Turmo, congratulations on your win, mate. By not much at all. Wow.
7/100ths of a second the gap at the end of the race. What a race between the two at the front. It looks like it's Brock Harvey going to be coming home in 3rd. Yes. Just ahead of Scott Nolan. I don't think you realised how close Scott Nolan was behind there.
No, I think he ran out of
fuel. He ran out of fuel. He ran out of fuel. And then it's Will Devonish, Cracker, Brenton Hobson. Gary Neville comes home in 8th ahead of Cam Rutledge and Steve Bolger. The gap between those two at the line, 2/100ths of a second there.
As I just have dirt all on my camera lens here. Thanks for smoking it up, whoever that is.
Also, we got Brian Walsh, after his great start, is going to come home in 11th place. Unfortunately, getting that drive-through penalty, maybe unjustly, with Lime Mitch just coming around curve 0 now in 12th.
Yep. And then a couple of do not finishes as well.
We do have Stuart, who's
I think he finished. I think he finished.
He finished a lap down.
Yep.
Glenn Miles finished a lap down as well in 14th.
And Luke Joyner's a couple of lap down in 15th.
Man, I'm feeling lightheaded after that.
Oh boy.
I'm actually feeling lightheaded. That was some of the craziest racing I've ever seen. Yes.
I'm just looking at some of the comments on YouTube. Loose89 was like, "No, Gary, no! Gotta send it!" Soft. He also said, "I want a tie. As a New Zealander, I do not want any more ties ever."
I know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
Oh, God. You don't know when my birthday is.
Yes, I do.
I don't know when my birthday is. I won't be in town for it, so whatever. Okay, what have we learned from race 1? Oh boy.
I need some fresh air is what I learned from race 1.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That was a thing.
That was a cracking race. Oh my god.
Gotta say, finishing 7th in the end for Brenton Hobson, that's a good result.
Yeah, that's actually quite impressive. It looks like we've moved now to the evening run of the circuit for the next qualifying session. Hopefully we get a little bit of a break. Is it okay if we have a little bit of a break, Brock? I just need time to catch my breath.
Yeah, sure, man.
Awesome.
All right. On that note, we'll take a break.
You guys
And we
like
are
one in the booth?
back.
Whew.
Oh boy.
How's the heart rate, Chris?
I can actually tell you. 125.
Oh, this has been a workout.
Best fun you can have sitting down, right?
Oh, it's something like that.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to be advancing through to the next race shortly. 40-minute encounter. Do you think
Oh, I don't think I could last 40 minutes of that. Oh, wow.
Oh, that was, tell you what though. Oh, strategy. There was some interesting strategy there. Just a lot of two tyres. I think one or two guys probably went the no tyre route. Because there were a few differences in the pit strategy. And it seems like pit lane here, very easy to get wrong.
Yeah, it looked like it. I wonder if maybe Luke Joyner, for example, might have the limiter set for the wrong point. Like he might be engaging the limiter at the wrong point because he got a few penalties like that.
That's a thing you can do?
Oh, well, sorry, he's engaging the limiter
Oh, okay.
at the wrong point, so he's engaging it too late.
I was going to say, because when I just test here, because I always just test in practice, I just fly through the pits at full speed.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Back to the 60s, man.
Damn. Yeah, so we might see a bit more divergent strategy this race because of the length.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get racing like that again, I might have to put my housemate on speed dial and call 000 because, mate, I might have a heart attack.
Oh, dear. Now, my computer is just going for a bit of a poo at the moment. Come on. Come on. I was going to get everyone here to sing you happy birthday, but I don't know if I can now.
Oh, don't do that. Come on. This isn't about me. This is about the guys racing TCAC here. Come on.
I know.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. There we go. Now it's working. Thank you, computer. I think I need a new computer. Brenton Hobson is saying he hasn't been enjoying this racing. I wonder why.
That might be something to do with his weight penalty. Let's quickly, while we've got some people here, we'll just grab a few people from that race. We've got Brock in the booth, and Brock, we just want to know what happened at the end of the race there.
Pretty technical issue. I ran out of fuel.
That was pretty tight. You left it very, very close at the end there to get to the line.
Yeah, I couldn't really back off anywhere because Scotty was up my butt the whole race, and I looked down and I went, well, I've only got half a litre to go. Looked at about 4 corners to go. And then I got to the last corner and went, I've got 0.2 of a litre, and it started cutting. And then it cut out when I got to the grid, and I was like, if it makes it, it makes it. And then I could see Scotty coming like a million miles an hour, and I could see the finish line, me crawling along it. So it was a bit of like, I just get there, like just whipping the car to make it there. But we got there by, I think it was 0.4 of a second in the end. But
yeah, it was 0.4 exactly. That kind of gave me flashbacks to I think it was a Phillip Island race, Scott McLaughlin versus Garth Tander, where Tander ran out of fuel coming up the line.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was going to be a massive incident. Just trying to, just he was chasing you down there.
I was half hoping it hit me.
I'm sitting there at NASCAR. It's valid strategy.
No chance.
All good. Good race though. Me and Scotty had a really nice race.
Oh,
I think side by side for most of it, so it was good.
I think it's and sorry, Scotty, you were barging and bashing your way through the field there. That was crazy.
Yeah, well, it's kind of what you got to do when you got your butt dragging with so much lead in it. Like, I feel sorry for my teammate Brenton. He's got 100 and something kilos. I've got about half of what he's got, and yeah, we're really struggling. Down the straight. Unless I was within one car length of Brock, I couldn't get a tow. And then, I made a small error at turn one, and he got away from me. And then I was just trying to hold off the chasing pack behind me. We're really struggling, me and Brenton tonight. And yeah, we're really off the pace. But it was good to get up there at the start. And I sort of missed the carnage there on the outside of turn 1, and I think I jumped about 7 or 8 spots. And it was good to sort of hold on there and get a top 5.
Yeah, we made the mention of your cracker start there. We saw you jump up 7 spots. Just that last stanza of the race, you and Will Devonish, who we've also got here. Can we get a few comments from you guys? I think most of what Will was hearing from us was just a lot of shouting and screaming. Was that what it was like for you guys?
I'd say so, between each other.
It was pretty, I don't know, it was just rubbins racing, sort of, like, he put a move on me and sort of got pushed a bit wide, and then I'd do the same back. And then I think Will fell asleep going down the main straight and didn't realise someone taken out the brake markers and went for a bit of a holiday.
That's
That'd be right.
We're talking about
Exactly right. I was right up your bum and I couldn't see anything.
we're talking about 5 or 6 cars fall victim to that. That was crazy.
Oh, I laughed so hard. I was like, they've all missed that the brake markers are gone, and I was like, yep, that's excellent.
Beautiful. Oh, that was some great racing, and even though there was a bit of contact, looked very respectful, and we had an absolute blast calling it. And I think if you watch the stream back, you understand why.
Yeah, no, that's it. I think there was one point there where I got him a pretty good shot, and I let him back through. I think it was at the little left-right before the pit entry there. And I actually lifted off and let him back up the inside of me, and then we went side-by-side around the last corner there. That was probably the only iffy moment, I think. But the rest of it was pretty good. It was a bit of a shame. I think Limich didn't have enough fuel because he was there too for a bit. But look, it was good. Yeah. That's what this racing's all about. The weight, although it hurts to have the weight on, it's really made things, brought the field really close together. And you see that with Brian qualifying pole and me and Breton down the back. And it's just it's painful for us, really frustrating for us. But it's enjoyable for the viewers and you guys.
Yeah, exactly right. And on top of that, it does mean that we get to see a few new names towards the head of the field, including Mike the Saudi Camel, who took home 2nd place. We've got him with us just quickly. Cracking race, Mike. You and Termo had a battle for basically every single lap. How did you see that from your angle?
It was insane and some of the best racing I've ever done. So much fun. But that's what this series is about. It's exactly...
Ooh, I think we lost Mike there.
We did.
There goes your best interview of the year.
Wow.
Damn it.
Can't you guys hear me?
We can now.
Yes, we got you back. We got you back. Yes.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm in Saudi, hence the name. So sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
It's just great fun. Great fun.
We had you up until you said it was the best racing you'd ever done in the year. So, it looked like it.
And as Scotty said, it just makes for great racing. People from the middle of the field moving forward, and sometimes the aliens have to sit at the back. It's good.
Awesome. What does it feel like to be battling for the lead of the race?
A new feeling, but a good one as well. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looked like you and Termo were having a pretty respectful fight. I don't think you got into each other too hard at any point. Did you ever feel like you could have gotten away from him?
No, not at all. We race against each other in other series, and we're pretty closely matched for time. So I knew it was going to come down to probably the second last corner, whether whoever got the best run at that. But it was.
Awesome. Cracking race, Mike, and best of luck for the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Just to finish off the interviews, we've got here Brian Walsh, I think we've got in the booth. Is that Walshy? I think it is Walshy.
Yes.
It is Walshy. Firstly, fantastic lap for pole position, Walshy. Congratulations.
Yeah, it helps when you don't have a back seat, but anyway.
Exactly right. Unfortunately, the race didn't quite go to plan. Can you talk us through your pit lane penalty?
Yeah, I was too smart for my own good, and I saw Brock go into the pit, and I thought I'd do the V8 thing and cover the strategy, and hit my pit button instead of the pit limiter. So then I got the drive through, and then that really stuck me up. But I was just hoping that I didn't finish in the last 3 because I felt bad like losing more weight, you know, because when you got so little weight, like as long as you make it to the straights, the fast guys can't get you because you top out, and then they just have to sit behind you. So if you can hold them off for 3/4 of a lap, you're all right. So hopefully I learn from my mistake and yeah, do better next time.
Yeah.
It's fun watching you battle your way through the field anyway, I've got to admit. And sometimes those races are better than just checking out in front.
Yeah. Well, it was a good battle between Mike and Turmo out in the front, and I was looking at them, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just stay with them because I could, and then yeah, that happened. But oh well, these things happen.
You got another race now to make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to see you at the top of the field again for this next race, Walshy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate. Oh.
And with that, we've now advanced through to this qualifying session for race 2. So just quickly before we start qualifying, I'll take you through just the gaps throughout the field because I think we're going to make mention here of how close some of the gaps were. So firstly, at the top of the field, the gap for the win was 0.07 of a second between Turmo and Mike, the Saudi Camel. We made mention of Brock Harvey almost getting swallowed by Scott Nolan on the line, so that was about half a second. The gap for 5th was 0.2 of a second between, I think that was Will Devonish and Cracker. And then further afield, the gap for 10th, 9th, and 10th was 0.02 of a second. So very closely matched throughout the field here at Goiania.
While we're just waiting, I'm gonna do something that Brock Harvey just posted in chat here. To the lyrics of "Summer in the City." Into the summer in the city of Goiania, hobo shitty.
Oh god damn it! Oh, I thought we'd made a pact not to ruin more songs.
No, that was in the city.
Oh, that was that one, was it?
Of Goiania.
Oh, right. We're going for a bit of old school R&B. Okay.
I'm so confused. Oh, it looks like we're just going to go straight to the next grid, so we don't have another qualifying session.
This is random grid.
Ooh, beautiful.
I was going to say as well, cars pushing the wrong button coming out of the pits. Where have you seen that before?
V8s?
Bentley? Bathurst?
Ah, yes, of course. So for those who don't know what we're talking about, the Bathurst 12 Hour this year, one of the teams, the Bentley Continental team, I think it was 108 was the number in question. They had a brand new car for this year, which meant a brand new steering wheel. And one of the drivers, I believe it was Andy Suchek, managed to hit the wrong button on pit exit twice. So out of 2 pit stops, he didn't turn off the pit limiter. He actually switched off the car. So both times at the exit of pit lane, he ended up parked up with the car not running. So that actually put paid to their attempt at the race, which was really unfortunate.
Yep. So on their warm-up lap now for this 35-minute race, Random Grid has spit out Mike Holston in the lead. He'll be in the pole position. He'll be happy with that.
Absolutely.
Stewart is going to be coming out from second. Will Devonish in 4th?
Yep. Luke Joyner in 3rd.
Yeah, Will Devonish in 4th. Steve Bodger will be 5th place on grid. I think, according to my screen anyway. I don't know how accurate that's actually going to be. Yep, it is. 6th place will be Gary Neville, GNev Racing Clio. 7th place will be Cam Rutledge, by looks of things. 8th will be Brock Harvey. Brian Walsh in 9th. Turmo in 10th. Scott Nolan in 11th. Oh, you can see where this is going. 12th for Glenn Miles. 13th for Brenton Hobson. 14th for Cracker. And it looks like we have lost a car as well.
I wonder who we've lost from that first race.
I don't think I've seen a Pink Panther.
No line Mitch. Oh, that's a real shame.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to take any more weight penalties.
Maybe.
So it'll be interesting to see how the likes of, say, Turmo and Scott Nolan, and Cracker for that matter, are able to move through the field. We have, by the looks of it, a 35-minute race, so not the full 40 that we were expecting. But I guess that makes sense, considering the last race was a 25-minute, not a 20-minute.
Exactly. So 35 times 60, divide that by 85. We're looking at about 24 laps this race.
Oh, you did a very good job.
I know, I had my calculator there, so it was handy.
I can hear the steam coming out of it from here.
Oh, yeah, can I? Oh, my God, what's 1 + 1? Oh, window. Right.
While Kiwi tries to cool down his calculator, we've got the cars gridding up. It looks like Coulston just overshot his bay a little bit, but it looks like they... Ooh, yeah, he's backing it back into position. On top of that, it looks like Steve Bolger's very angled towards the inside, possibly looking to get a bit of a run here.
That's going to be a very aggressive start.
And Turmo as well on the outside. It's very Michael Schumacher circa 2001 here. I might be pulling a random memory out that no one's going to remember. But we'll get back to that later because we're almost at race start.
We are. Ready to go now for race 2 here at Goiania Raceway. And great start from Mike Holston. Looks like, oh, what is Brock Harvey doing on the grass?
He went straight off there, and it looks like they're going 4 or 5 wide into the first corner. But it looks like Coulston's got the whole shot again, and that will be his second one of the evening as he rips around and takes the lead.
Yep, further back, Stewart's gone down to 5th place, and it looks like he's going to have Cam Rutledge and a bevy of Lancers down his inside as we're going 2 or 3 wide in the back there, coming through to the remaining part of the first complex.
3 wide into the kink there, and it looks like Brian Walsh is going to go up the inside of Luke Joyner.
A bit of a
maybe not. A little bit of contact. There's a bit more contact further afield. It looked like that was Cam Rutledge who got squirted out wide.
Yeah,
yes, that was.
Glenn Miles got involved in that as well.
Yeah, so Stewart's lost 9 places off the line. Cracker's up 5 from last into 9th. Turmo's up 2. Brenton Hobson up 6 places into 7th, which will do a great job for him. And also Scott Nolan up 6 places into 5th. And it looks like Brian Walsh is also up 6 places into 3rd place off the start.
Hey, here we hope.
Great work.
Now he knows which button switch on the steering wheel. He'll be right.
Beautiful. So at the moment, it looks like we've got Coulston, Bolger, Walsh, Nolan, Joyner, Devonish, who dies out towards the inside, around the inside of Luke Joyner, not quite. Then Turmo, Brenton Hobson, and Cracker, with Stewart rounding out your top 10. It looks like we've got a few guys coming into the pits down the back with damage already.
Yep, Turmo was pushed a bit wide there coming out of the final corner.
Oh, look at this battle for 4th. Sorry to interrupt you. It looks like Nolan, Devonish, and Joyner going side by side into this first corner, just ahead of them as well. They're making contact. There's 3 groups making contact down the road here as they come through the first corner. Looks like there's no letting up after last race.
No. They've got the rest of the panel to destroy yet. I think Devonish sort of caused that by trying to fit as many through a hole that wasn't there and sort of just everyone ping-ponged off each other. As Devonish has gone wide. What's going on there? Devonish has gone wide and has shipped the place to Turmo as well. The regaining Scott Nolan has just come in front of Brenton Hobson. Devonish back down to 9th place.
Yeah, this is all wild here. Nolan's going to recover and get back past Turmo. Not without a little bit of touching there as all 3 lines get into each other. The other one's just behind.
That was a significant hit. It won't be surprised if Hobson has a bit of damage after that one.
Yeah, that would not. That would make his night even less. Yeah. All of this is happening. Mike's just clearing out the front. We've got a drive-through penalty for Gary Neville, who's already been through the pits, I think. No.
Well, he would have had damage.
Yeah, he did, and he got a drive-through.
Yep.
Well,
insult to injury as who was that? That's Cracker down the inside of Hobson. Hobson wasn't a big fan of that. Gave him a bit of a body check, and now Devonish is buying into the argument as well.
Yeah, and Devonish should have the legs here. He's a few kilos heavier, but Hobson got a great run there, and he's able to hold the lead through that section as the cars stream down this main straight. Great view down this main straight here as Turmo gets up the inside of Scott Nolan. Walsh gets up the inside, not quite, of Steve Bolger. We did it again. Sorry, Steve.
Even when your name's on screen, we get it wrong.
Yep.
I'm just having a look at Devonish here. He's going to have a wee peeky poke. That's a term people use. But no, decides better of it there, and is potentially going to try and get him on the outside of the kink down to Pico de Pato.
He's got the inside now for the inner loop here on Hobson, and he's going to make that position and hold it, unless Hobson can get back on the inside. But the dog leg there makes that pretty difficult. Devonish gets a little squirrely.
And coming through here, which is...
Oh, massive amounts of tyre smoke. What's going on ahead?
What's going on? What is going on here? Let's try and get up there, eh? I think it was just someone locking up, potentially Turmo.
It looks like they all escaped unscathed, though, which is good.
Yep. Let's go through the field quickly, eh? So Mike Colson's just gone, see ya. 3 seconds ahead of Steve Bolger in second place, who's vulnerable here to Brian Walsh. He's going to run side by side with Brian Walsh on the inside, coming all the way down to Curva And he's... Oh, that was a great move by Steve Bolger to maintain that position there. But he's going to run wide on exit, but still does enough to get the job to keep second spot.
Big puff of orange smoke as Mike Corsten runs wide there. Just behind this battle for second is Luke Joyner. It's still holding on there very, very nicely. And then we've got Turmo and Scott Nolan almost joined at the hip in those lances for fifth and sixth.
Tell you what, Colson cost himself a good couple of seconds with that going off moment as well.
Yeah, we said the gap was, 3 seconds? It's now less than 1. He's gone wide again on the infield at, what's that corner called? It's called Bico de Pato? Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to look at it on my phone here because I don't have enough screens. I need more screens. So he's looking a little vulnerable at this stage with a few little mistakes. It's let the field get closer to him, and of that, it looks like Brian Walsh is going to have another look at Steve Bolger as they head into the last corner.
And he's not far enough, bails out of that, probably smartly as well. Although I did look a bit squirrely on entry, getting over the inside curb and then running over the exit curb as well, a bit wide. And you can see 3 wide MotoGP draft train with Brock Harvey on the back of it as well.
Bolger did a great job there to try and box out Brian Walsh, but he's not going to get any yield from it as Walsh just goes around the outside and takes the position. And he's going sideways. Manages to hold it and keep the car on the track. As
Meanwhile,
Luke Joyner went off behind and he's dropped back down to 6th. So that battle now is 5 strong as Brian Walsh maintains the position, but Steve Bolger has got the inside line for the hairpin onto the loop. Doesn't quite get the move done, so now it's Brian Walsh ahead of Steve Bolger, then Turmo, then Scott Nolan, with Luke Joyner dropping down to 6th, and Cracker bringing up the end of that group. Woo!
Oh boy. I thought they said this was going to be a more calm race.
No one ever said that.
Meanwhile, Colson's out in front, just going, what's going on behind me? As Turmo has a sneaky look down the inside of the S's. Bit of brake smoke there. Bolger runs wide, and Turmo's going to get that position off him. And everyone's... Nolan and Joyner are going... I was trying to see both of them, man. But they're both going to have a crack. And it looks like Cracker's going to have a cracker as well.
Well done. Bolger has got the inside line, though. So if you can look towards the inside, he lost a lot of speed there. But Joyner he's got the better line. Joyner was able to round him up, and now Cracker's got is in Joyner's split screen. So Bolger's going to go from second to 7th in 1 lap. Such is the competitiveness here, as it looks like Cracker and Joyner are still pushing each other down the straight, but settle into line as Cracker one's a little wide.
Well, there's one position back, and tell you what, he's down the inside of Luke Joyner as well. That's going to be close for a second position back as well.
Oh, they make contact into the kink. And did either of them suffer damage there? I'm not sure.
Don't think so, but Bolger's done enough to get the move done. That was Robbins Racing Boys into Miolo.
Yeah, exactly right. What that's done, though, is that's actually spread out the front half of the field a little bit. So it's now about a 1.5 second gap from Coulston to Walsh, who's got a second over Turmo, who's got about 3/4 of a second over Nolan, who's got just over a second to this battle between Bolger and Joyner and Cracker.
Yeah, and out the back as well, the gaps are fairly spacious. So, tell you what, this might be now we've settled down a bit. This race might turn into a bit of a slow burn, and we'll probably see some pit stops when the window opens in a lap's time.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if someone like, say, a Nolan or a Bolger might try and get out of this mess and try and set some laps in clean air, especially maybe Luke Joyner, who's got a bit less of a weight penalty, as we got fastest laps coming through. First Brian Walsh for the fastest lap, then Turmo, now the 25.7 as the fastest lap of the race. Turmo's done a great job this early stage of the race, up 7 positions, only 6 laps in, so very good job from Turmo, as he's now sitting in 3rd place, just behind Walsh and ahead of Nolan.
Yep. I just went through the field. I went from 5th the first way going down to 14th. That was smart of me. But now I'm looking at Mike Colson in the lead there. That gap's coming down again. 0.6 of a second between him and Walshy.
Yeah, Walshy's doing a very good job so far in this race. He's really upped the ante and made sure that he's going to be in the fight today. He's also up 7 positions. So Turmo and Walshy, the 2 big movers of the field so far in this second race.
Absolutely great. And I'm glad to see this from Brian Walsh after his mistake in the first race, which we heard about. Be nice to see him with those back seats removed. See what he can do.
And he's looking very close now. Coulston had a bit of a mistake into the S's, so he's looking. He's lost a lot of time there, and Walsh is right on his rear bumper as they come through curve of 0. It's now only 0.3 of a second. So remember, we were saying that gap was 3 seconds only 2 laps ago. So now only 0.3 as they come across the line to start lap 7.
8.
But
yeah, tell you what, he's far enough back that he's thinking about breaking the toe, and around the outside into curve of that's very ballsy, and he backs out of it, probably wisely so.
Oh, no, go for it. You got to lick the stamp and send it.
Which he's going to do here into me. Oh, he's licked the stamp, all right. That's brave, but no. Out of it again through Miolo.
Well done by Coulston there to hold his nerve around the outside and not get put off by Walsh trying to swing through that little kink there. He's given himself a little bit of breathing room, and we could see a reprise of the great battle that we saw in the last race with Turmo just lurking in the background.
Sorry, there was something in my throat there. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was. Yep, I know. As we have... Ooh, that was a graphics glitch on my end, that's fine. I thought the card had just bottomed out, but no, that's fine. Tell you what, Colson's pulled away just a tad here. Ooh, Cracker at the inside of Bolger, potentially into the last corner. Let's get back to that. Yes, Cracker's going to get the move done through the final corner, running too wide, but Bolger's going to hang out and have the outside line, but yep, Cracker's got a good drive there. Should have enough to get the move done before turn 1. Although with the slipstream, wouldn't be surprised to see Bolger fight back coming to curve.
And he does fight back. And it looks like he's got the inside line and makes that move back again. One thing I'm noticing about this track, which I really, really like, is that a lot of these corners encourage, as we go back to the front, Brian Walsh has actually got the move done the inside of the kink into that first loop onto the infield, and he's got the move for the lead. I'm just going to interrupt myself there and start shouting over myself. He puts the squeeze on Coulston into the inside section and does manage to keep that first position. So back at the front, we've got now almost a 3-way battle because Turmo is lurking in the background and he's going to get brought into this if they keep fighting. So what I was going to say before I interrupted myself was that...
Whoa, I'm going to interrupt you this time because we have a bit of contact there and Brian Walsh got very squirrely through the yeses. No damage done though. Continue.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like a lot of these corners, because of their such long radius corners, they encourage sort of over-under maneuvering, and then the sort of the way that the corners compound in together means that you've got to get into a flow here as Walsh falls out of the flow, runs wide and loses the position back to Coulston, and then if you do get out of the flow, you can see yourself relegated down many positions, but there is a good opportunity to attack and defend in this racetrack as they go side by side into turn 1. Coulston doing the defending, Brian Walsh doing the attacking around the outside, and Turmo in the background. He's going to be right on the tail here. Yeah, now it's a 3-way fight for the lead as we just approach the 20 minutes to go mark. We've got 21 and a half minutes left in this race.
That's, I'm glad you got that out in the end. Took you a while. While you were
Just a little.
while you're talking, Cracker and Boulder were at it as well out the back, having their good old battle as well. One thing I've noticed is their stream quality is really taking a dive at the moment.
That's a shame.
That is a shame. Can't actually.
Well, while you sort that out,
Yeah.
I'll just keep talking about this battle at the front here, because it's still enthralling. It looks like Colston looks like he hit the curb there and runs a little wide, and Walsh seemed to have a bit better drive coming onto this little back section into this last.
And I think I've lost Flood as well. I think my computer might be about to die. Flood, are you still with us?
Pardon?
You just died on my end.
Oh, okay. We've just had a few pit callers. It looks like we've had Luke Joyner come through the pits. Sorry, that's Brock Harvey, who's a lap down now, who's come through the pits. And I think also just had, pardon me, Scott Nolan in the pits now as well. So maybe larger fuel and tyres is what's causing the Harvey to go down a lap, because I didn't think he was that far back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've been too busy trying to fix my computer and fix you, so...
I don't need to be fixed, thanks.
Back onto the race.
I'll tell you what else doesn't need to be fixed.
Yep.
The SPA system, because it's working beautifully at the front here. Because Walshies and Coulston, they haven't actually traded positions yet this lap. And as I say that, Coulston runs a little wide and potentially opens the door. But they're all running very, very close. We might see this race explode in the second half after all the pit stops is filtered through. No pit callers this lap as Walshy shows the nose but doesn't quite squeeze it in there. Looks like we've got Luke Joyner in the background who jumps into the pits. So that would be our third pit caller so far in this race.
Okay. As I'm just frantically trying to fix my computer. I hope that's going to work. No, I think the stream quality is just going to be a battle race. Sorry, guys. I think I made a mess of something in the settings. Anyway, we'll continue with the radio show at the very least, as we're going to come too wide out of the exit of that corner. And tell you what, Turmo's going to have a wee nibble as well coming through here. Yeah, ooh, that was ambitious. That was very ambitious by Turmo.
Yeah, and looks like it's sort of shuffled him back as well. But Walsh now has the lead. Mike with an ambitious dive, and he's gone wide. That gives up that position now, so it's Walsh, then Turmo, and then Mike further back. So he tried to have a dive at... Honestly, it didn't look like he tried to have a dive so much as he just completely missed his braking point. He just went straight on there. And he's actually now almost closer to Cracker behind him than he is to Turmo ahead. So a bit of a mistake there from Mike. It looks like we might have Turmo coming into the pits. Yes, he's slowed up and gone into the pits. So the first of our really early top runners in this race jumping into the pits. So we'll be keeping tabs on him as he comes out a bit later on.
Excellent. So we had Neville. Who else has pitted so far? CXC?
So we've had Scott Nolan and I think Brenton Hobson, Luke Joyner and Brock Harvey come through the pits, and Gary Neville.
But
he's, I think, a lap down.
Cool. So effectively, your leader at the moment is Nolan?
Leader at the moment is Walsh, and then of the pitters, it is Nolan. Yes.
That's what I meant, effective leader.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I guess we're watching to see where Turmo comes out in relation to these guys.
Yep, so he's just on the roll now. Nolan's coming around the last corner. I tell you what, it's going to be very close between Turmo and Nolan.
Yeah, we're watching now, and 2, 1. He's going to Joe. That's a very... I think he's just got him.
Yeah, so Turmo was out of the pits ahead, but by the time he gets up to speed, he's dropped behind Scott Nolan. So Nolan now effectively leading the race, depending on fuel and tyre strategy later on. So that'll be a thing to watch as the top half of the field. Yep, so Brian Walsh and Mike Coulston jumping into the pits. Now, hopefully, Walshy has clicked the right button this time. So now Cracker inherits the lead. Cracker
Excellent.
from last place, now leading the race. So that's
on cycle, but still, that's something.
This is true, yeah, and he's not that far away. So he's now in the lead. We've got he actually set almost his best lap that time around as well. So
yeah,
good job,
very
from Cracker.
consistent laps.
Very pacey. So we've got Walshy and Coulston in the pits. Stewart's coming into the pits behind them, and we're watching where Scott Nolan is going to filter out into this, because he might inherit the lead of the race if he's kept his pace up.
Yeah, well, Scott Nolan just coming around the final corner now. We'll see.
Both Walsh and Coulston are now moving.
Excellent. We'll see what happens here. So, well, hang on. If I do that button. Oh, Brian Walsh with the drive-through. Walshy!
Oh, no!
Walshy!
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, mate.
And he would have stayed ahead of Nolan as well. Maybe not. So Nolan gets ahead of both of them. Coulston is going to be the head of the... he's just come out ahead of Turbo, so that battle is basically the same, but Nolan's jumped all of them. So I wonder if Nolan's either not taken tyres or taking less fuel.
You'd take 2 tyres.
Yeah, at least. But he might, some of the other guys might have taken 4. As we've got the next round of stoppers in. Cracker, Bolger, and Devonish all coming in. So that leaves just Cam Rutledge, who hasn't taken a stop. And then Scott Nolan. As Brian Walsh goes off in the background, compounding his miserable evening after another penalty. What a shame after such an awesome start.
If my heart wasn't already broken from the cricket, it'd break now.
You're not going to let this cricket go, are you?
No.
To be fair, I wouldn't either.
No. I will promise to not bring it up for the next 14 minutes and 11 seconds of this race. How's that?
I will appreciate that.
So out front, Will Devonish is in the pits now, as well as Bolger and Cracker. So it looks like the field's going to cleanse itself.
We've still got Cam Rutledge, who hasn't pitted, but he is in danger.
Tell you what, effective lead. Oh, nope, Nolan's just going to get Cracker for the effective lead.
Wow, so this has meant that Cracker and Bolger have managed to jump Walsh, Coulston, and Turmo in the pits. So now they've got a bit of work to do to catch up to Cracker and Bolger. I wonder if they haven't taken rears. I think that might be it. They might not have taken rear tyres, so I don't see how they would have been able to make up that gain.
Well, that's something
any other way.
That's something you can get away with here.
Yeah, so that might be the magic strategy. It is only about 3 seconds between Coulston and Cracker, 6 seconds between Coulston and Nolan, so that's going to be a bit harder to overcome. You're going to have to basically go at almost a second a lap. Maybe a little less than, maybe 3/4 of a second a lap. Until the end of the race.
You know who it's not 6 seconds between? Coulston and Turmo.
Yeah, they're still going at it.
That's potentially where the best battle of the race track is at the moment. And between them, Devonish and Fatso as well are going to be pretty tight.
That's so mean. Can't call Hobson Fatso. That's so mean.
I know
you mean. I know you mean his car. So Rutledge is coming to the pit. So now that does cleanse the field. So we've got Nolan, Cracker, then Bolger, then Walsh, who still has a drive-through to take. Then Coulston locked in a battle with Turmo. Then Devonish and Hobson a bit further back. And then it looks like...
Sorry to interrupt. Turmo driving around the outside of Coulston through turn 1. And
how many times have we said that?
Yeah, again, I'll just get my record paper out. As he sticks with it coming through the last bit of turn 1, I guess.
I think that's technically turn 3.
Turn 3, then Merglio. And then through Miolo, he backs out of it.
I think that's been, 50% of laps that they've gone through that section like that? It's been great racing.
Well, we consider it's essentially 5 right-hand apexes before a left. You can get away with doing out there.
It's like turn 8 at Istanbul. You're just always turning in that one direction.
Yeah. And
or like the top of Saxon Ring there before you plunge down the waterfall.
You know what I was just thinking before? I know we said they race bikes here. I would love to see a bike race here. That'd be nuts.
That would be pretty nutty. You know what else is pretty nutty? Battle for the lead.
Okay.
Looks like Cracker has ranged up onto the tail of Scott Nolan, and he's got the run already, and that's going to be a move for position straight away. We were saying just a lap ago that it was 3 or 4 seconds. Cracker's put in the fastest lap of the race last time around, a 25.6, and he's going to take the lead on this lap as well. Wow, that was a very quick change. So that was over a second gained on that lap by Cracker, and a lot of that was in the last half of the lap.
With 10 minutes to go, if Nolan's done a bit of a funky strategy with no tyres...
Yeah, now is where he's going to be suffering. It was all in the middle sector there on that last lap, though, Cracker. Middle and first sector. So that would be where you're stressing the tyre most. That last sector is just the last corner, basically. So yeah, a lot of time gained by Cracker there. So Nolan might be struggling on his tyres.
Yep. Now we have Steve Bolger being harangued by Brian Walsh, who I assume has not yet taken his penalty.
Not quite. And then just behind them, you've got Coulston being harangued by Termo. And just behind them, it looks like we just had an altercation between Hobson and Devonish. I'm just going to have a quick look back and see what's happened there, because it was only a corner ago that they were the other way around.
And of course my replays button is not working, so my stream's going well. Poor quality, no replay. Sorry, guys.
You sure you entered the race in the right way?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't believe you, but sure.
You never believe a word I say.
No, and while she's coming through to take that penalty now...
That's fair. So it looks like the battle up the front. Cracker's stretched out to a 7/10 of a second there. Looks like everything else is starting to settle.
Might be able to just breathe for a second as we come under 10 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, I might turn this into a radio show again and see if I can get the stream any better.
So while while Kiwi's trying to sort out his life,
that's never going to happen.
It does look like everything's just sort of calmed down a little. The gap between Coulston and Termo is out over half a second. Cracker's got half a second over Scott Nolan, who's really settled in. And then in the middle, you've got Bolger and sitting in a little bit of no man's land between the two battles. Devonish has ceded that position to Brenton Hobson, so Hobson's now in 6th, so up 7 positions from his start. So that's quite an improvement from where he was. And then not a good day for the MHRT racing team, with Joyner in 8th and Brock Harvey down in 11th. 50 seconds down on the leader for Brock Harvey, so not ideal for him. Cracker's now stretched that gap at the front of the field to over a second and does set another fastest lap, lowering his mark another 25.6, but this one's a 6.1 instead of a 6.8. So he's definitely running away at the head of the field as we get to just under 8 minutes remaining in this race.
Okay, I'm going down to Hobson here. I'm back online. Hopefully the stream's any better. If it's not, I apologise. But Hobson 3/10 up on Devonish, so that margin's been clawed back again. So I'm going to focus on those to see what happens as they come up to the corner. I can't pronounce. The Kinks Migulo Leo and corner's Miolo. I've probably butchered both of those.
So Devonish had the outside line there, but couldn't capitalise and couldn't stay around the outside. But Hobson has to go a little wider to compromise for that narrow entry, and he could get taken on the inside here by Devonish. No, not quite. So they're still going at it. This is, remember, the battle for the championship between these two. I think with Devonish's results in the first race, he might no longer be mathematically able to win, which could be important. We'll have to do the sums after the...
Going to keep going with the radio show?
Yeah, no problems. Devonish makes the move on the inside. We've got another fastest lap for Cracker. Now it's dropped from a 25.61 to a 25.6 flat. So he's putting in some great laps and he's keeping it at a very consistent pace as Hobson and Devonish are squabbling down the main straight yet again. I am just going to swing back up to the battle between Termo and Mike Coulston. It looks like Termo has got the outside line into that hairpin onto the infield section and closes the door on Coulston. So now Termo's got the lead in that battle for fourth. And Coulston shows the nose again into that inner hairpin. Doesn't quite get the move done, but Termo runs it a little wide. So they're still at it. Termo's got a few car lengths now as they head through the dogleg and into S's here. No move from Coulston that time, but he does try to get a bit of a narrower exit to try and set up the move into the curve 0. He's got a bit of a run here. He's probably not close enough to have a move, but he's got definitely got a better line. And oh no, he doesn't. He goes well wide curve 0.
If that's your better line, I want to sim race with you more. That was
he did have a better line on the entry, but he did spray it a little wide through the mid corner. Meanwhile, Devonish and Hobson are still going at it as they come onto the main straight. Hobson, of course, suffering with that 106 extra kilos in the boot, but he's gaining on Devonish as they come down the main straight to finish 20 laps with just under 5 minutes to go here at Goiania. And it's...
Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? Not going to get the move done into 1 there.
Not quite.
We talk about heavy...
Yeah, how do we... Go ahead.
I was going to say, you talk about heavyweight. What does that actually mean to your car?
Someone in the WEC Discord put it very well earlier today as Coulston dives towards the inside of Termo and the inner hairpin and gets it done, gets the move done. So he's now in fourth. We were discussing Lotus in the WC Discord today, and someone said if you add horsepowers to a car, it'll go faster in a straight line. If you take weight out of a car, it'll go faster everywhere. And that's basically what's happening to the guys. The opposite's happening to the guys like Brendan Hobson. When your car is heavier, you've got so much more inertia to have to move around. So it takes much more force to do anything. That's force to accelerate, force to brake, and force to corner. Yeah, basically you just have to struggle with moving a bigger, heavier weight around. I'm trying to think of a good analogy here that makes a little more sense.
Well, you can keep your analogy for a second because Termo's taking a look up Mike Coulston's inside into turn 1. And he's going to get the move done. That was very aggressive. And he's going to get the move done there nicely. Good move. And
I need this action to keep going so I can stall a bit longer to think of a good analogy.
I'm glad I saved you. Just looking through the field. Devonish has pulled a good couple of seconds ahead now of Hobson.
Oh, I wonder what happened there then.
Don't worry about that.
Big dive to the inside of that inner loop again. He seems to really like going to the dive in that corner. And they're going to come out side by side. But with the dogleg there, it's going to give Termo the advantage, is it? No, Coulston. Yes, he is. So Coulston has to swallow it back in.
Oof.
Okay.
2 minutes to go. 3 laps.
Plus the extra lap. Potentially.
No, 3 laps.
We'll see how they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way to describe inertia in a way that kind of makes sense. So inertia is, of course, oh no, we've got a touch between Termo and Coulston in the last corner. Coulston's gone around. He's gone towards the inside of the field, and he's lost mountains of time there.
That's a shame. Tell you what, Coulston's if Coulston has an issue, because that's the last corner. That's a long way to go around, but no, he's up to speed.
Yeah. It looks all right. He did lose 9 seconds on that lap. Yeah, he just got into the back of Termo in curve 0, and with these cars being front-wheel drive and front-engined in the Mini, it just seemed to drag the weight of the car towards the inside, and then the inertia of the car kept pulling it that way while Coulston wasn't able to get it back on track. So that brings to an end the hour-long scrap between Termo and Coulston that we had going since basically the first corner of the race. What a great scrap between the two of them.
We've got a great scrap unfolding here between Nolan and Bolger as well. For second place.
I think you might be right. I think Nolan might have not taken tyres because he's really beginning to struggle at the tail end of the race here. His last lap was out in the 27s, while most of the field was in the 26s. So most of the top end of the field, that is. So he might be really struggling, and he's gonna see this position here.
No, he's
not quite.
No,
Steve was very, very kind to him, backing out of that move before the apex.
well, with
As we hit a minute left.
yeah, so 2 laps to go from this point, you'd imagine. You can see you're trying to do the whole MotoGP, break the draft, coming in the front straight, but I imagine down the outside of turn 1 that the move will be done, even before turn 1 potentially.
He's going to have his nose in front, but Nolan, he's ballsy under braking, I'll tell you that much. He goes very deep through the first corner and keeps that position. So it looks like Nolan is a bit more confident maybe on his brakes.
Would you say he goes balls deep?
No, I said he's ballsy and he's going deep. Stop. We're so close to the end here, Kiwi. Why?
Oh, God.
So close to the end.
You can tell you're angry with me when you bring up my username.
Yes, I know. So this is the major battle on track at the moment.
Just keeping an eye on Cracker because he will be coming around the starter's last lap anytime soon. But in the meantime, yes, this battle is going to be right to the finish. Can Bolger get it done with 1 lap to go? His turn 1 is probably his best bet because it looks like Nolan's just got enough everywhere else.
Yeah, and especially it looks like this sector 3 is where Bolger really has the pace on him, but Nolan's doing a good job to force him wide through this corner. But if Bolger's smart here, he's going to get a good run onto this back straight. That's the end of the race. That's the end of the race. What's going on?
Okay.
Cracker wins, and Bolger does hold on for second.
That's not how that worked last race.
I don't know what's going on anymore. So Bolger holds on for second place. It was 0.14 at the line. 4 seconds further back was Termo, then Mike Coulston, then Devonish, Brendan Hobson in 7th, Luke Joyner crossing the line in 8th place. Brian Walsh, our first race pole sitter, is going to come across the line in 9th after another drive-through penalty, which is a real shame for Brian Walsh. Comes across the line.
And there's Broccoli.
Next will be Brock Harvey, who had a kind of an anonymous race, to be honest. Must have run into trouble.
Go on, crash over the line. Go on, Brock. There he goes.
He does just finish ahead of Cam Rutledge. The gap was a second after Kiwi's encouragement there. Stewart's going to come across the line in 12th. 13th will be Gary Neville, who is 1 lap down, and Glenn Miles will bring up the rear of the field 2 laps down. And that wraps up a wild event of racing as I watched Steve Bolger, damn it, do reverse donuts on the turn 1 infield.
I've gone away from that chaos because, yeah. Wow.
That brings to the end a crazy night of racing at Goiania, and what a night of racing, honestly. Some of those battles were just fantastic.
Yeah, that was fun. There's really
you don't say.
There's really no other word for it. What's going on here? We're getting some guys into the chat. You want to bring it up, Flood?
Yep, sure. Firstly, Brock Harvey, what happened to you in that race?
I crashed.
Oh, that's a shame.
We saw it.
That's explained.
Oh, you crashed earlier on.
Yeah, no, on lap 1 actually, I hit the brake and I don't know, I just spun and I drove straight into the side of G-Nev, and ruined his race. So I need to apologise for that. And the rest of the time, I just cruised around, hit everybody.
Fair enough. We'll let you go apologise to G-Nev. While you do that, we've also got Will Devonish in the booth. Will, 6th place for you in the end, ahead of your championship rival. Are you still holding some hope that you might be able to reel in Hobson in the last race of the championship next fortnight?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think he'll still have a bit more weight than me, and pretty I like Brands Hatch, so
Who doesn't
I
like
think
Brands
it'll be,
Hatch?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be quite intense next week, or the next round.
Yeah. What was we missed the happenings of your battle because we were focused more on the front. What happened between you two? You were engaged in a heavy battle, and then he seemed to drop back very quickly from your rear end.
Yeah, I think if like being in front of me, he was putting up a bit more of a fight than when he got behind me, he just knew he couldn't catch up. So I think that's what it was. But yeah, the moment I got past him on the straights, I could run away, so it made it quite easy at the end.
Fair enough. Congratulations on beating out Hobson, keeping the championship battle alive. We've also finally got a race winner from last place on the grid to first. Cracker in the Lancer. Congratulations. What a race.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for that. I don't know how that happened, but it worked.
Beautiful work from you. It seemed to all happen in the pit strategy. So what happened? What were your choices in the pits, and how did you manage to come up through the field?
Front tires and 5 liters of fuel was what the program just seemed to work.
So you didn't take rears at all?
No rears, just fronts and 5 liters. That's it. And yeah, managed to pick some spots.
Yeah, fantastic. You kind of flew under the radar on that first stint because we weren't really expecting you, but yeah, it just kind of popped out in the lead. So that was a bit of a surprise. Is this your first win in TCAC?
Yeah, I reckon it is. First one. I've won on this track before, but a different series, but this is the first time in TCAC.
Oh, so this is a track thing for you then? You really enjoy getting around this track?
Maybe, or it could have been just another fleet, but it worked this.
Awesome. Congratulations, Cracker. Yeah. Enjoy that extra weight penalty for the last round of the season.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We also looks like we've got Cam Rutledge in the room. Enjoyed it. Did you enjoy the racing this evening?
I love racing these cars. I reckon they're awesome.
That's great. We've only got one more round left though of these cars. Looking forward to Brands Hatch in 2 weeks time.
100%. Yeah, it'd be good. And see, try and be a little bit further up the front. That'd be nice. But yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys are ahead of you taking weight penalties, you might even find yourself further up.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to end this now because my internet's taking an absolute. You know what? So I'll end it before we get ended. So thank you everybody for that race. That was amazing fun to watch from our point of view. Thank you, Michael, for
go if you were racing and jump in over top of you. Go back and watch the stream because the first race is just just us screaming the first half.
Yeah, the quality is not great because my internet is dying. So Michael, thank you very much. I'll let you go and celebrate what's left of your birthday.
Thank you very much. I'll celebrate by watching tonight's stage of the Tour de France.
Oh yes.